change in the agenda. Motion to approve the agenda as printed. Councillor Vodden, Councillor Sipe, all in favor? Carried. Disclosure of pecuniary interest, if any. None noted. Moving to the consent agenda. Is there anything, Councillor Knott?
Minor thing I'd just like to point out in 4.2.2. Unless we've got some time travelers, I think your meeting date's incorrect. It says April 18th, 18.
The 2/18 should have been 2/16.
We are Marty McFlash from
Working on it.
It's right
right in the first paragraph. I think first
at the
paragraph.
start of the first paragraph.
I'm just opening it up.
Can you make administrative changes to the report after?
Okay. Anything other than that in the consent agenda? Okay.
I'll move the consent agenda.
Consent agenda, Yolanda seconds. All in favor? Carried. Yeah.
6.1.
6.1.
There's no public meetings.
Okay, the suggested resolution that is permitted by Section 9 of the Site Plan Control Agreement between the Corporation of the Township of North Huron and the Wingham and District Hospital as passed by Bylaw 16/2016. The Council of North Huron approves the requested minor adjustment to add and remove trees and add a concrete pad with horse tie-up.
Reeve, I just will, I'm gonna declare a conflict of interest here, not pecuniarity, but just conflict of interest as I'm a board member on the hospital board. And I will not be voting.
Okay, noted, that means we need another mover. You had seconded previous?
No.
Oh, okay, Yolanda moves. Deputy Reeve Campbell seconds. Question, go ahead.
And perhaps this question might be possibly answered by Councillor Seep. The horse pad, which is fine, are there any provisions in here for them to wash this down? Do you know if there was any drainage provided for us so they could hose that area down? And we've already run into our little horse issues on the street with complaints from people. I don't think we need to have it in the hospital.
Laura can comment on that from the site.
Can you comment on that, Laura?
Sure. So there wasn't anything added about like cleaning that site specifically, but it is off of the street. So it is instead of the projected phase 3 full parking for phase 3 for the medical clinic, there would be a portion that's now the concrete pad, which is away from the vehicle parking as well as the street or sidewalk area.
I'm just a little concerned that if they don't provide a provision for cleaning that pad, that we're gonna have complaints coming in from the same people who complain about the street. And it being a hospital, I don't know if there's anything we can do to address that situation or not, or have them address the situation.
I believe there is a few things that will do a certain amount of mitigation, such as a barrel with the top on it, and that you scoop and put it in the barrel type of thing. But it's noted that you have concerns.
I was going to point out the same thing in reference to the, behind the Toronto Dominion Bank, there's been a barrel there and a place for people to tie up their horse. And I have never seen or heard of any problem like that.
As long as it's carried out.
Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion? Carried. Okay. Okay, in 6.1.2, records management. Do I have a mover for that motion? Councillor Hallahan, Councillor Knott. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. So, 6.1. Moving to 6.4.1, Public Works Equipment. You are moving. Councillor Vodden seconds. Is there any discussion there? All in favor? Carried. 6.4.2. Do I have a mover? Deputy Reeve Campbell. Councillor Ritzman-Tinga. Good question?
Yeah, just a, sorry, just a question about, when we send out the terms for this RFP, is there gonna be a conversation about service level and what that, what a recommendation we should see from from that aspect? I guess that's through you, Reeve, to Jeff.
Yeah, so when we, certainly when we draft the terms of reference, we will be trying to decide which level of service we would go forward with. We've had initial conversations with, with some service providers and talked about how they do define level of service and whether it's a daily collection, twice a week kind of thing, or what sort of format it takes. But that's certainly part of the conversation in the terms of reference.
Councillor Knott.
I guess also to Jeff, are we going to have a possible public input in this? Because I know there's been a lot of discussion in East Wawanosh about garbage collection and the problems they've had. So are we going to have some kind of public input from them, or an opportunity for them to have input before we put that out?
At this point, we hadn't planned to. We certainly could make that part of our process, I guess, as far as trying to get some feedback from the public in terms of what they're looking for. We could include that as part of our process for the RFP. We are, I think with the report recommending to extend our current contract, that does give us a bit of time to at least put some of that out there and get some of that feedback from the public. So it is something that we could consider.
Sure.
We did include some opportunity for public feedback in one of our public meetings that we had, and there wasn't really a lot of take on that. And if I recall, I think Kelly at the time was going to be doing some sort of a survey or eliciting on some online comment. I don't know if we had ever received anything on that, so we could follow up to see if there was any feedback that was received as a result of those processes.
Mhm. All in favor of the motion? Carried. 6.4.3, the Public Works Councillor
So moved.
Sight moves. Councillor Knott seconds. Is there any discussion on this? All those in favor? Carried. Okay, moving to 7.1. Request from the Wingham Lions for them to be able to run the Santa Claus Parade. Councillor Hallahan, Councillor Ritzma-Taninga. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. 7.2. The OPP and municipality planning meeting. Is there a number of people that could make that or not, or Councillor Not?
I would like to attend. I will do my best to be there.
You as well, Councillor Hallahan, Councillor Wadden? Most of us, it looks like, so that's it's most of council are planning on trying to make it. Not everybody may be able to.
No, I can go.
Sharon.
For those who haven't confirmed, if you would do so to Kathy via email as soon as possible, and then she can complete the RSVPs on your behalf.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, is that enough to go on, or should we, it was just getting strong? Okay, moving to 8.1. This is something that my wife got off the computer this morning. And it was from the Ontario Meat and Poultry Group announcing the following on September 27th. Congratulations to Smith Falls Community Food Bank, the Inn of the Good Shepherd Sarnia, and the North Huron Community Food Share, Wingham. Thanks to your spirited communities. You are the top 3 food banks in the Time to Give Thanksgiving giveaway. And they will be connecting with each of those food banks to make a donation, so that it's nice to have North Huron Food Share ranked that high, and that they will make good use of the donation. And on another point, I won't be able to make it, but there's going to be a meeting, Hospice for Huron, and this is to be a general information meeting. It says 7 to 7:30 at Knox Presbyterian Church at 9 Victoria Street, Godrich. But the goal is to put together something of a plan towards a centrally located 5-bed hospice for Huron County, and that whether they want to gauge support and as to what's what. Through the LIN, Huron and Perth counties are supposed to be being allocated towards each, 10 hospice beds between the 2 counties. And that there's a number of groups working within Huron County that have been looking at creating hospice beds, and they're trying to put that together so that we could have something to go forward rather than them all going to Stratford. That's sort of the long and the short of it. Maybe that Gwen Devereaux talked to me at the R2R conference, and that she wanted me to mention it so that all those that could make this meeting could see how strong the movement is, what the support is, and that basically gain information on the possible project. Okay, basically the R2R conference, I'm not sure how we're going to make all the information that was gathered relevant to the provincial and federal governments. But there was a very high level of quality in the panels and the discussions. Basically, the What's Up Doc with Karen Davis talking, the former administrator for Godrich Hospital, but she spent 12 years in British Columbia helping reconstruct the health system there. I would mispronounce Lars' last name, that was from Alberta. Very interesting guy to talk to, but and I'm not sure we solved a lot, but at least we brought forward that there has to be healthcare in more than our largest cities, and that's something that from ones from all across Canada, when they were asked about it, they agreed that there needed to be healthcare in a lot more than just the big cities. A number of things on the road less traveled, 3 entrepreneurs that definitely took a road less traveled have, I think, done okay in niche markets, but a very informative panel for anybody that's wanting to do something other than just follow a commodity in agricultural production. A number of the other panels were real good, but those were the ones that really stuck with me, and I felt I maybe should mention tonight. I should maybe ask Sharon, Yolanda, and Brock. Were you at any of it, Bill?
No.
That is there anything you would like to add? That's pretty well the end of what I was going to say. Brock?
I was really impressed with many of the presentations, all of the presentations that I attended. And also impressive was the response of people from away to our village and to this whole event. And it was really encouraging and full of a lot of pride. However, we've got a big show to follow up on. If nothing happens, what have we done? And so I think we need to do some talk here and all around the county about what of these great ideas we're going to pursue and develop and continue to foster and continue to invite people to take part in this discussion. So I think it's a big act to follow.
Yolanda?
I just really want to applaud Karen Stewart and Peter for pulling, and the 1418 Inc. for pulling this off. I thought it was an excellent conference. I
really enjoyed the day and a half that I could be there and all the sessions that I attended. And I think that just having a chance to meet with other rural people, because that was the one thing, how do you define rural? Is it farming? Is it, what is rural, right? And looking at how do we define that going forward. But just that whole sense of being able to share stories and collaborate and innovate together to help make sure that rural issues stay at the forefront of all levels of government, and really working together, that it really is up to us to make those changes.
Sure.
Yes, I agree. We go to a lot of conferences in our lives as municipal people, and I found this conference very engaging and very interactive. We weren't just sitting there being spoken to, but we were part of the conversation, and everyone was sharing their own stories. I agree with you, Brock, just the format of having things in different venues throughout the town. We were meeting people and stopping on the street and talking as we were going by. And, I saw some of my former colleagues from Bruce County who were really applauding what was being done there and saying that they were very much enjoying the conference. I found the youth engagement session to be very interesting. I think the panel consisted of some really articulate and innovative youths, and hearing their perspective about what brought them back to their communities and what makes them want to stay in their communities, and some of the challenges of staying in your community was really interesting. So I think it would be good if they could follow that act and continue that conversation with further conferences. It was a lot of work, and I do applaud Karen and Pete for putting that together, because I think it was really creative type format. So hopefully they can continue on that, and I think if we can assist in spreading the word to people to grow that conference, it would be very beneficial to people in rural communities.
Could I raise something else that in response to Sharon's comment? That group of young people who returned to their community, they told us about some of the problems that they experienced in coming back, in terms of their own feelings and in terms of the community reaction to them. A lot of people over the years have mentioned this, people who have lived in one of our communities in Huron County, and they've gone away, they've had a career, or they've gone away for education or whatever they've gone to. And when they come back, it's not easy to break into the fabric of the community. And it's almost I've heard many people refer to this as Huron County's problem. It's rural Ontario's problem, in that you have to be back at least 15 or 20 years before you're really back in the community. And I think there are things that we need to do to make sure that when people do return, that they're welcomed and just treated well.
Okay. And I said that thought that I was done. I would be very remiss if I didn't mention the tulip planting Saturday morning. The tulips are planted. The ones that the Village of Blythe were lucky enough to be awarded, so that we're looking forward to next spring and seeing how the garden looks then. Moving to council members giving reports. With the R&R, that took care of quite a few of that. Is there anything else? Trevor?
I just would like to mention to council, those who aren't aware, there has been extensive actual progress on the building bridges community, the fields, the soccer fields at the high school are under some construction. I actually haven't been up to see what process they're at right now, but the work is continuing, which is a good sign to see. They are about to finalize another grant, of the Aviva grant, and that is to be finalized by October the 6th. And they're putting back again for this grant for the finalizing of the playground equipment, the fully accessible playground equipment at Maitland River. So hopefully with the community's support on voting and stuff, that will commence. We're just finalizing making sure that we have some brokers on hand as part of that grant to ensure that we get the ground off moving. And it's an exciting time to hopefully continue the process and getting what is desperately needed for both the Maitland River School as well as the community for the high school for soccer and that type of stuff up there. So I just wanted to give council a brief update on that because that's been an ongoing summer project that they've continued to see in the community, and the community is really responding to them. They haven't actually taken a break, so it's good for them that they continue to work through that summer month when that's not always the easy sell.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Bill?
We're gonna move on here to 8.3 then. I'd like to,
Okay,
I'd like to ask that whether staff, Council, however we do this, but the time I think has come again that we have to request from the county of Huron that they re-examine the traffic situation at the corner of Blythe Road and London Road Highway 4. As you're probably aware, there was a fairly serious but fortunate accident. Nobody was seriously injured a couple of weeks ago at that corner. Traffic is continuing to increase. We have an opening date for Tim Hortons about 2 weeks from now. And with the construction of the Cowbell Brewing Company and the traffic that's going to add, there is substantial truck traffic as well as vehicular traffic, like regular cars, and the intersection has become busier. It is becoming quite a hazard. I literally had a transport truck last week pull in front of me when I came down the road, whether he thought there was a stop sign or what, but he pulled out in front of me. And I can foresee we're going to have some serious issues. So I want us to take what steps are necessary to get the county to proceed to re-examine their decision on traffic lights or traffic control, whether it be a traffic circle or lights. That's an issue to be discussed, but that end as well, the intersection in the village itself at the corner of Dinsley and 4, which has always been a problem. And will probably get an even larger problem. The amount of traffic that's going up and down London and will be drawn by the Tim Hortons and the gas station. So I would like to see us together put forward whatever it is we have to the county to get them to re-examine whether we need to make a motion, have staff prepare the letter, whatever that may be.
Councillor Knott, can you bring that forward at the next council meeting as a request of motion?
Yes.
Sharon?
I think that does not require a notice of motion. It's not a major report. So it would simply be a request this evening via motion to direct staff to make that inquiry.
Okay, you are making that motion
I
then?
will make that motion.
And Councillor Sipes seconds. Any further discussion on it? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Out of bylaws. And the bylaw number 89, 2016, being a bylaw to appoint a drainage superintendent pursuant to the Drainage Act, RSO 1990, CD 17S93 be introduced and read a first and second time. Councillor Syed, Councillor Knott, all in favor? Okay. The bylaw number 89, 2016, being read a third and final time, signed by the Reeve clerk and engrossed in the bylaw book. Councillor Vodden, Deputy Reeve Campbell, all in favor? Carried. And the bylaw 90, 2016, being a bylaw to authorize the Reeve clerk to sign on behalf of council a contribution agreement between the Township of North Huron and Her Majesty the Queen in Right of Canada as represented by the Minister of Canadian Heritage for the funding of a project called Renovation of Blythe Memorial Community Hall, home of the Blythe Festival, which qualified for support under the program entitled Canada Cultural Spaces Fund, be introduced, read a first and second time. Councillor Syed, Councillor Hallahan. Question? All in favor? Carried. And the bylaw number 90, 2016, be read a third time. And okay, I'm having trouble moving it up, but it's read a third time, signed and everything. Councillor Vodden, Councillor Knott, all in favor? Carried. And bylaw number 91, 2016, being a bylaw to authorize the Reeve clerk to sign on behalf of council a memorandum of agreement between the Township of North Huron and the Wingham RC Jet Club for the lease of land and associated infrastructure to conduct club activities at the Richard W. Levan Airport, Wingham, be introduced, read a first and second time. Councillor Ritzman-Tedinga and Councillor Sype, all in favor? Carried. And bylaw number 91, 2016, be read a third and final time, signed by the Reeve clerk and engrossed in the bylaw book. All in favor? Carried.
I don't even know.
Okay, Councillor Knott, Councillor Sype. All in favor now again.
I'd like to speak too.
Pat?
Hi, yes, actually, I just wanted to speak to bylaw 90 2016 and mention that is quite a significant announcement and that there's a media release that I've circulated with the media table, which will also be out on Facebook, our website, and all of our other Twitter accounts and things like that. It's a significant contribution to the project of $979,909. And it's something that we have been waiting to hear about and are very excited about. So I just wanted to mention to council that we do have a media release and I have copies if anybody would like some.
Thank you, Pat. The bylaw, pardon me, the bylaw 92, 2016, being a bylaw to authorize the Reeve clerk to sign on behalf of council an agreement between the Township of North Huron and the North Huron Snowmobile Club for the lease of certain lands which form part of the Blythe Greenway Trail, be introduced, read a first and second time. Councillor Vodden, Councillor Knott, all in favor? Carried. Okay, and bylaw number 92, 2016, to be read a third and final time, signed by the Reeve clerk and engrossed in the bylaw book. Councillor Sype, Councillor Ritzman-Tedinga. All in favor? Carried. Announcements?
Sorry, Reeve, I forgot to mention this. I did want to actually extend a congratulations to Apex Helicopters. Because, you know, I was in that line with my family for 2.5 hours, and they did everything possible to ensure that everybody could get a ride on a helicopter that day in support of Helicopters for Homes for El Salvador. And I think it was an excellent day from when we were out there. They had the kids entertained, and everybody actually enjoyed themselves, even with the wait. They also did everything they can to make sure people were excited about the project, and they were upfront with people. They said, you know, you can donate, but we can't guarantee you we're going to get you on the helicopter. And I will tell you, they did almost anything they could to make sure that everybody wasn't going to stand there and not get a helicopter ride. So I think kudos to them and their sponsors and their program, because that's an excellent fundraiser for them, but it's also an excellent thing for the community, especially when you hear that the International Plowing Match is doing helicopter rides for $60. So, and they're giving them for a donation. So, you know, kudos to them. I congratulate them.
Councillor Ritzman.
And on that, I believe, I'm not entirely positive, but it sounds like they raised enough money to build at least 5 homes.
Okay. Not quite as many as last year, but the thing of it is that I will make the comment. We sold a lot of fuel to helicopters because the Wingham Airport actually supplied the fuel for the helicopter rides over at Harrison at the International Plowing Match, being one of the closest dealers. So it was very rewarding knowing that, as well as helping this year's International Plowing Match, things will be looked, there will be many out of North Huron helping with next year's International Plowing Match. Councillor Knott.
I'd like to see if we could recommend that council prepare a letter or staff prepare a letter to thank the helicopters for their contribution, for the job they did. It was excellent.
Okay. Is that just direction, or does it need to be done by the motion?
We can,
Yeah.
Direction. Because I'm sure I have consensus on that.
Just on that, there's still donations coming in for homes.
Is there any other business? Okay. Anything before we go to in camera? You're moving to in camera, Councillor Sipe, Councillor Knott, all in favor? Okay, we will have a short recess.